For more chat about geek entertainment, answers to your questions, and news from the wider world of Christian geekery, get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services. Well, my editing skills are crap, but can the same thing be said about Netflix's The Titan? Stick around and find out. Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions, here with my uncut review of The Titan. This is movie number 2 of March Movie Madness Week. All this week long, I am putting out one review every day, 7 days, 7 movie reviews, hopefully all gems. We'll see if that's possible. But this one I think I'm happy to recommend. The synopsis on IMDb reads, "A military family takes part in a groundbreaking experiment of genetic evolution and space exploration." A little more to be said, I think, than that. The story takes place in 2048. The world is suffering from overpopulation, and so the people are trying to figure out where else can humans go to kind of resettle, and where there will be more space for them. What's interesting to me, I guess I could save this for like the relevance part of my review, but actually I'm going to focus on something different at that point, so I'll just say it now. Is that these stories, they focus on just getting us off the planet instead of trying to figure our crap out so we can get along. Because technically, we could deal with having a lot more people on the planet if we could just figure out how to properly care about each other and properly share resources and really just use what we need and be more effective and giving. But we don't seem capable of that. We're just giving up on humanity. So I think the plus side of movies that go this route is that they inadvertently confirm that yes, we are not all okay as a human race. We are kind of broken. So they're trying to figure out another place to go. There's a moon around Jupiter named Titan that seems like it could be a place that humans could go if humans undergo some very significant changes to our physiology so that we are compatible with living on that moon. So the idea is that they take these soldiers that have been through really intense situations before and shown their willingness to persevere in those kinds of situations, to undergo this program that will genetically modify them over a series of procedures to be suitable for living on Titan. And so this is a story it's a sci-fi drama that chronicles a husband's gradual biological changes and the effects that it has on his wife and his son. Really his wife in particular. There is some suspense and brief action, but it's largely a drama. If you think about a movie like The Fly, where one loved one is watching another loved one go through these biological changes and personality changes as well on top of that initially seem to be really beneficial and positive, but show a darker side the further you get into the story. That's what this kind of movie is. There's some mild body horror. It doesn't get super gross. You're dealing with the drama of that, of seeing his body change, seeing him deal with the intensity of some of the painful side effects of his body's changes. You're seeing personality changes in him and in other test subjects. You're seeing the deaths of some test subjects because of things that their bodies can't handle. And so all of these things are kind of the sources of drama. Whether Sam Worthington, who plays the main test subject character, whether it's things that are happening to him or that they're worried will happen to him because of what they're seeing happen to other test subjects. So that's where really the drama and the tension comes from. The cast, I already mentioned Sam Worthington. He's really the big name here, and you might get the impression from the trailer that he is the one that's really carrying this movie. And while I think he does do a solid job here, he's not quite what I would say the star. I mean, star in the most well-known sense maybe, but not the one that really carries this movie. I don't think his performance is intended to carry this movie. Taylor Schilling is the name of the actress that plays his wife, and the movie really shifts focus to her after the first 30 minutes, or maybe it was already kind of favoring her the first 30 minutes, and I just wasn't noticing that, until we got further into the movie. But she really is the one that carries this movie with her performance. We share in her reactions and her emotional pain over slowly losing her husband as the story progresses. So it's really, I'm trying not to give too much away about the story, but I hope I'm painting a picture of at least the tone of what kind of movie this is, so you can figure out if this is going to be something you'd be interested in. As far as stunts and visuals go, the visual effects are not frequent or really the best, but also don't look unusually cheap or distracting, and just kind of like observe, like, oh, that could be better, There are some makeup effects that become relevant later in the film, and they're all fine, but they're not they're not groundbreaking. It's just not a movie that's out to impress you with stunts and visual effects and stuff like that. But when they show up, they do a fine job, I think. Now, let's get into the themes. Is there anything of moral, philosophical, or spiritual significance going on in the themes of this thing that might trigger some worthwhile thought or conversation? Maybe. I think that movies like this, whether knowingly on the part of the writers or not, parallel real-world situations where a spouse watches their loved one go through prolonged advancing deterioration because of some condition they have. Now, of course, you might be thinking something like a disease like cancer that this story could parallel. I think it could also parallel a spouse having advancing dementia, even alcoholism and other types of addiction. There are parallels here where you're watching someone that you really love deteriorate or be experiencing something that you cannot understand, and the only people that can truly understand it are the other people that are going through it. And so just as a result of that, you feel a bit detached from them and maybe feel some envy about the fact that they are more connected to these other people than they are to you right now. So, there's just different types of things that we do experience in the real world that this movie, I think, parallels, whether intentionally or not. We've got this wife who cares for her husband when he is sick. She cleans up his messes. He vomits, and in one scene he vomits and just makes a mess in the bathroom, and she's the one cleaning it up while he is in bed, shivering or sweating, or just all these changes he's going through. He's just suffering. She's losing sleep with worry. She struggles even through all this to still see and to still love her husband through all the changes happening to him that slowly make him into really a kind of a different person as far as she can tell. And so I can see this movie being too close to home for those that have had parallel real-world experiences. But I suspect that for the rest of us, it can be a reminder to be grateful for our health, even when we are sick with the puke flu, or maybe we have some kind of ongoing sickness to some degree. We can still, I think, look at this movie and say, I'm not as far gone as that. I still have this and this and this and this. I still have this connection with my loved one. And so there's things I think that a movie like this can bring to our attention, parallels it can bring to our attention, where we can say, I am grateful for what I am not suffering through, and I think that it can also lead us, I think, if we allow ourselves to be directed in this way, to pray that God will give us what we need, to trust that God will give us what we need if we are required to face any of the real-world scenarios that parallel a sci-fi scenario like this one. All right, I have no idea what your tastes are in movies, but if I were a time traveler, I'd go back in time and say, Peter, Don't miss this one. It's not something you need to see urgently, which is, why you haven't gotten around to seeing it. It came out in 2018, and you're just finally now seeing it, but it's been on your bucket list and stuff. And yeah, okay, well, advance it in your bucket list the next time you want to watch, a sci-fi drama. This isn't one that you'll need to buy, but neither is it one that you're going to watch and enjoy but find forgettable. This one is going to be one that I think you kind of stick with you, and that is unique enough in the type of story it is that it'll stand out and maybe be one that you recommend now and then to others. Be prepared for less action and more drama than the trailer might suggest, but the next time you have Netflix, give The Titan a try. This one's rated TVMA, primarily for language, does have some violence in it as well. That's probably maybe hard PG-13 level violence, maybe rated R violence, but that about covers it. All right, those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours in the comments below. Stay tuned for more March Movie Madness, a new movie review every day of this week. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell to stay connected. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for making this and so many other of my reviews possible. You can get info about the exclusive benefits of becoming an insider over at patreon.com/SpiritBlade Productions. And then, of course, as always, I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. The Christian Geek Central podcast is the longest-running podcast for Christian geeks with over 600 weekly episodes and counting, featuring audio versions of much of the same content you'll find here, plus exclusive content including weekly news updates from the creators of Christian comics, novels, and video games, debriefing and commentary about what I've been playing, reading, and watching, and my expanded responses to your comments and questions via YouTube, email, or the Christian Geek Central forums. And now, with timestamps, so you can jump straight to the segments you want to hear most. Get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services, and enjoy one more way you can geek out and seek the truth.